Welcome to the Expander world and CRM script event handlers, or as Sverre has just renamed it, triggers. For those who were here yesterday, he may have gone through some parts of the CRM script. I don't know the parts he went through, so in case I go through the same parts, just ignore it. Yeah, that's it. I am Simen Iversen. I work as a technical consultant for SuperOffice. I mainly work with service, but I've been dabbling with sales for the past months now, because when you have to do a presentation on sales, I reckon you have to work a bit with it as well. Today I'm going to go through some examples of what you can do with CRM scripts and event handlers. And at the end I will also be able to show you some live demo if you want. The Twitter and the LinkedIn, the Twitter, I don't use Twitter, so don't visit that one. It's some old from my high school area. The LinkedIn profile is there as well, so just please visit. Not there aren't so much articles and such on my LinkedIn. So anyway, the agenda for today is a short description of what CRM scripts are. I'm going to talk about what the possibilities are and what you can do with it. Event handlers or triggers in SuperOffice Sales, I'm going to show which possibilities we also have to hatch onto in the sales module. And I'm also going to show a couple of demos, or 3 to be exact. But those are short video demonstrations. I can also show you live demos if that is wanted. I have brought my demo environment with me, so you can just give me an example and we can see if we can cook something up real quick. And at the end, questions if you want. But you can also just ask questions during the presentation if there's something you want to ask. So, what is CRM script? Well, it's something that enables us to customize and adapt the SuperOffice solution. For years it has been available in eJournal and customer service and service, but now it has also been enabled for sales. It enables us to talk directly to the database, do some queries, and also work with the ticket, company, and customer classes. So basically it looks something like this. It feels like you're working in the matrix sometime when you are scripting, because you will stop seeing code and just seeing functionality. So, event handlers in SuperOffice Sales. What do we have here? We have we have the possibility to hatch onto before and after saving an entity. That is, for example, when we are saving a sale, we can either stop the user from saving the sale because he has forgotten to fill out some information or fill out a required field. Or we can hatch onto the after sale entity, which will allow us to do some extra work on the sale. It is important to mention that we can't hatch onto all events to the entities. We can only hatch onto the screen itself. So For example, we can stop a person from saving an appointment, but we can't stop the person from, for example, completing the appointment in the diary screen, for example. Because as of right now, we aren't actually latching onto the events, but to the screens. I guess that's why they will sometime revolutionize everything and come with something new. But this is how we are going to work with CRM script as of this day. So here is a short description of which entities we can latch onto right now. I'm going to show you an example of company, sale and project today. So if there are some important things that you want to do or want me to show you, just ask in the question section. So, yeah, and as always, there are some things that will not work as intended. There are certain bugs. And I will not go through everything today, but I can mention one thing, and that is we can't use the AÖO in Norway. So we have to do some work in the behind to actually make them understand what AÖO is, both in Swedish, Danish and Norwegian. Because there are some bugs with I think it's the UTF or ANSI type. Not completely sure there. Also, there's the problem with if someone is saving the entity somewhere else in the screen itself, like completing a sale or completing an appointment. And also, if you are working with the company or appointment with scripting, we can't understand that as well, or we don't know that you're working with an entity somewhere else. Yeah. So this is where I was talking about appointment. If you are clicking the complete here, we don't know that you are actually completing the appointment, so we can't latch on to that event. Anyways, I will show you the first demo. It's a short, very short video of how we can prevent save if it doesn't meet the right requirements. Basically, I have a company that doesn't have the organization's number onto it. So I will stop the user and I will prompt a message saying that the organization number is missing. I hope this is working. Let's see here. Yeah. So I was trying to save first and our number cannot be empty. So that is how we can stop a user from saving in the before company save. And next video, I have parted them up. We will show how it works if we actually insert something in the organization number field. And just something, I don't count the number of the amount of numbers, but we can also do that if that is required. We can count, it has to be 9, it has to be 10, depending on which country you are in. We can also understand which relations the company has to other companies and so on. All these demos I can show you in full on the end, because I understand that this video was a bit short. I was expecting it to be, yeah, but if it goes too fast, nobody will understand or see what's happened. So I was trying to pause a bit, and it didn't work as expected. Anyway, the code for stopping a user looks like this. It's 10 lines of code, or not even that. It's very simple. Anyone can do that if they just get a copy of the code. They can just paste it and just rewrite. Oh, music. That's yeah. It's really simple. And I will also mention that some of the great features that are new in SuperOffice is the tracing ability. That we can select tracing, and it will display all available variables and objects that you are in your context of the script. So if you want to know, for example, it's not my intention to get technical here, but the event data at line 3 there, you can get all manner of inputs and outputs it has by tracing it. So if there are some options that you are unable, like the contact entity org number field, if you don't know, as me, I don't know every field available. So I use the tracing ability often just to see which variables I have to use. So. Actually, I was first in here and I was thinking I was lost because there was some music and singing, and this can't be Expand World. Kind of nice.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, the other demo, the really fast demo, is that you can create a ticket when a sale is at a loss. If you want to follow up the customer based on a sale, you can do that, and you can also connect the ticket to the sale so that you can always have like a relation between the two, and you don't have to do anything manual. So what I did, I was in the ticket, in the service, I created a relation to sale, and also in the CRM or sale, I created a pane for request. I can show you. Just trying to pause the video here. Yeah, I have created a pane for requests that will show all requests linked to the given sale, the product X1. So as long as the sale is in another stage right now, it won't create a sale, but at once I set it to lost, it will immediately create a ticket and connect it to the given sale. Right now I've just hard-coded the category it will lend to, but it will automatically as well connect the right contact and company. And as well, if you have a license in service, it will set you as the owner of the ticket. So let's see this breakthrough functionality. Let's see if yeah. So I have a sale and it's just setting it to lost. Saving, and at once I can stop it. It will create a new request with the title lost sale. I will also link the name. You can see it properly here, but I will also link the name of the sale in the ticket title. As you can see, this is 12:09 a.m. Last night. So this was something I did working on just recently. I have also set the category to sale. The contact is Øyvind Ural, as is it in the product X there, and the status is active. As you can see, I have a sales text there, just for fun, and now also creating a message on this ticket with with that one. So you can see this the request here in full, and you can follow up the ticket if you want in service. There are more possibilities here as well. You can, of course, you can create different scenarios depending on which stage you have the sale on, and so on. It's like for each slide we can. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, also, I have created a demo that summarizes all sales on a project and just sets user-defined field total sum sales on the project. There are many variations of this I have also seen in different SuperOffice solutions, but this is this is a very simple one. That it takes all sales connected to the project you're on and just sums up the sales or amounts and put it on a user-defined field. So basically, I have created a project Z, and I will put my sale project X on that project. Very creative with names. So I have the amount there up is 5,000, and I just save it regardless of which stage or which phase the sale is in. We can also do something like only accept open sales and only accept sold sales and so on, but in this scenario I have just taken all sales regardless of relations. So I go into the project and I can see that the total sale amount on the middle screen there is 5,000. Also, I'm creating a new sale, and again with my creative names, I am saving it, but the fault I was doing last night was not connecting to the project at once, so just give me another second to connect it to the project. And when I save and go into the project again, it will again display total amount 8,000. A very simple script, but it's useful in many scenarios where you want to have the full oversight in your project instead of just having the overview in this project sales view. Sometimes you need to part them up in months, like in subscriptions. You can do that as well, like having 12 months and part amount of the months. Yeah.
If you are editing sale and removing sale project relation, you can update this filter.
Yeah. So if I'm deleting a sale, you mean, or
Just remove it from the project.
yeah, okay, yeah. As long as I'm in the sales screen, regardless if I'm removing it from a project, I will. Okay, that is a good answer because I have to connect to the before sales. So if I connect to the before sales, I can also know if you have removed the sales from the project and remove the amount as well. Because we have the possibility between the two stages of the saving to say that this save is used to be in this project, for example. We can send variables through before.
Old state and new state.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is quite ingenious, actually. We can easily send the project number. Like if someone has ever used CRM script before, we have the possibility to set the old and the new variable of an entity. The same we have the possibility to do here as well. We can check what the variables are before we are saving and then pass them on to the next after save. And if the project ID is then changed for some reason, then we can just update both of the projects or just one of them if you have removed the link.
Would this also work if you would delete the cell completely?
Yeah, because if you are deleting it, it will still save.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was actually my entire demo section. So I see we are a bit short on time now. Just kidding. So I have one more slide, and that is questions. Also, I have the possibility to open my demo environment if you want to, and if you have some specific cases that you want me to take a look on.
You said that you needed to be in the screen in order for it to capture the event. I was thinking about how about moving appointments in the calendar? Is that the same thing?
That won't work as well.
Ah, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, as Sverre has mentioned, it is only in the screen, so it's actually not the event handler as much as this screen handler. But he's been talking about the possibility of actually latching on to the event itself, so that in some time in the future we can, regardless of where you're saving, we can say, oh, you tried to move an appointment.
Yeah.
We have to go through this script first. Maybe we can stop you from moving that appointment.
Yeah, but I was more thinking like, for example, if you are extending an activity in your calendar and you need, let's say, a function to summarize the complete usage of time onto a user-defined field.
Yeah.
Then you most likely won't open the activity to do that. You'll just do it right in your calendar.
Yeah. So if you're updating the time amount in just stretching the calendar, we can't know that you're doing that, obviously. But there are other ways, or hacks as I would call them. We could create, this would require some work in service as well, because we can do something called scheduled tasks that would continuously run and check for updated appointments the last 5 minutes, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just checking if you have done anything to them and updating project sales, connecting to that appointment. So,
but pure event handlers can't handle that yet.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
as a consultant, you would like to reuse this script, of course. Can you use the package export also for this script?
Yeah, or that is a good question. I was certain that I could do that, but I was, if I can, I have, as we all have, or our consultants have our own environments. I can just, oops, that is the perfect. I can take a quick look at that, because you have in service you have always had the possibility to take all your customization scripts, screens, and package them. So you can download them as an XML file and upload them in another solution easily. So it's a very good solution to transport customizations. Here you have event handlers, so I just have to take a look and see here.
You can't see the screen.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, you can see the screen.
That was very good, because I just got an error message and slideshow. Maybe that will help. So I am in the sales administration, and in
Size up a bit.
Control.
yeah, like that. That will help. In the left corner here, I have CRM scripts. It's new in 8.1, and also we have the possibility to create regular scripts here as well. The only requirement for this is a site license called Expander Services. To use event handlers in sales, you don't need anything else besides Expander Services. That's being said. So we have the event handlers here, before saving company and after saving a sale. I have enabled these two. Also, I have the tracing if you want to take a look at that as well. Give me a second. I can't do anything with packaging here, so if I just give me a second. I have to go into the service solution. And in here we have something called packages. And I can create a new package with, let's see here, let's see if it's in the script section. No. No. It doesn't seem like it's in the packaging yet, just to answer your question. But it's often it's more like just copying the code and inserting it somewhere else. So it usually doesn't take long to copy a solution when we are working as consultants as well. Yeah.
With the dialogue boxes, you've got like an OK box. Can you have things like yes, no boxes, like do you want to create a ticket and then respond on the answer?
Not right now.
Is that good fun, do you think?
I would think so. I've been talking to Sverre for some time about this, and it's all about time actually, because GDPR is taking all their time right now, and I think he wants to implement it. It couldn't be that difficult if you ask me, but I don't know everything that happens in the behind code there, so maybe not. Yeah.
Do you have an example on how this navigation works? For example, if you save something, it needs to navigate to the project which is linked to the sale or something?
Yeah, good question. For those that didn't hear, he was asking about navigation. If I'm saving a sale that is connected to a project, I can navigate to the project instead of the sale. We can use the SO protocol to navigate throughout SuperOffice. We can't navigate to external sites yet. I was hoping that we could, because that would be kind of awesome. But right now we can go to some places inside of SuperOffice, for example, a project. I can't remember the exact code for navigating, set navigate to, and the SO protocol for something. So I'll have to take a look at the exact example of it. But there are plenty of examples already on the community. So I recommend taking a look at community if you have someone working for you that are working with CRM scripts. It's as well as the partners and the staff, we are helping everyone if there are any issues, often with the CRM scripts and other things, obviously. So navigating to, it wouldn't work well if I was just sitting here for half an hour now and trying to find code and such, but let's see. We have the possibility to also create a macro event. As of right now, macros aren't very useful for that, but when Sverre has released the new macros, they will be much more functional. Right now, macros are very much just do this, not if else, what happens. So we have the ed get input value here. So if I just, as well as in the CRM script, you can control space to get list of all functions. and we have the set navigate to, which will allow us to set a SO protocol inside here. I can't remember what the SO protocol was, so I can't show you a direct example, but we can then get what project ID or contact ID or whatever and just send you there instead. Yeah. That wasn't really helpful, was it?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Simen?
Yep.
SO protocol colon contact info. What's the syntax?
Okay. So again?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's case sensitive, but it's colon, not dot, unless I'm blind.
Okay, but anyway. Are there any other examples that you want to see? Are there any cases that you want to use in your sales solution? I really work with sales, so the only examples I get is that our sales department are asking me to create for them. Often they are very simple because often they are unaware that there are so many possibilities in service or CRM scripts. Sorry.
Could you show in this script where you taking the project and then calculating for all sales connected with it?
Yeah, that you are saving the amount, you mean? Yeah. Okay, so right now I'm just updating the field in the database. I'm not using any net servers right now. I am going through using a search engine to go through all the amounts of the sales connected to that project. Of course, if I was to check the project connection between before and after, I would have to create a new event. Now I'm on the after sales, so I can only know what has happened when you actually have pushed the sales button. So if I'm just creating a new event here, new event script, I can go into the sales before, of course, before saving the sale, and you have to remember to enable it. And I can do this. Let's see here. I can often reusing old code, so don't remember everything. After saving sale, just copy this 2 lines here. Oops. Okay. Yeah. So before saving sale, if I want to, for example, update the amounts, if we are changing the project relations or removing the project relations, we have to know what the project ID was before you were saving. And then we can do something simple as set state value. What I'm doing right now is that I'm saying that before you were pushing the save button, this was the project ID. And I'm going to fetch that value in the after save, and then I'm going to say the project ID is something else, and then I'm going to do some work. For example, update the old project or the new one. So get state value, and we call it the project ID. So now we have 2 project IDs, the current one and the old one. If I want to check, I can just do something like this. Not is equal old project ID. And then I will, of course, also checking if the project ID is not less than 0, because if it's less than 0, it is non-existent. And then we are working on a sale that has no project connection. So, for example, if all project ID I can do that do the given code, and else if the old project ID is over 0, if you have changed the project, we have to update that one as well. So I can just point to the update code that will just comment it, so instead of writing. I hope it's okay. If anyone wants actual code for their solution, you can talk to me or some other consultant. Michelle is always delighted to get CRM projects. So you can just contact him, or that was a bit internal humor for you. Anyways, that was how I would have updated the old and the new one based on the sale you were on. Of course, if you are on a project as well, you can latch onto the project sale and then update all the sales on that given project. Anything else? No. Yeah. Sorry.
No problem. Is it possible to have multiple event handlers for the same event? I mean, is it? I know we talked about structs and all that kind of stuff yesterday, so I was just wondering if the best way was to, or what do you recommend? What would you do? Would you make some libraries with structs and then make one event handler to fire those events from one event?
It really depends on what your end goal is. If you want, you said multiple event handlers for one.
The same event.
That you can call on separate scripts if you want to.
Okay.
We have the possibility to create global scripts that are available through the event handler.
Okay.
We can call on them and call on functions from that script, for example, and then you can have your multiple event handlers, if you call it that. But there is only one event handler per screen.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, if there's nothing else, I really don't. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Access database directly from this script?
Yeah.
To the web service?
Directly through the database. I can use the net server as well as connecting to the entities, but I like to use the search engine to connect directly to the database by SQL queries. There are basically the same thing, but the net server will log if something goes wrong and.
Don't want net server directly access to store procedures.
Again?
No, I don't want net server to be involved. I want to use the store procedure directly.
Yeah.
When I transfer save to Salt, I want to create a project and do a lot of background setup. Against other system for the new project.
Yeah.
And I trigger that from the store procedure that has also.
Yeah, if you want to do a lot of things like create a project and so on, the best way is to generate a function that will do that for you. Or, as was mentioned here, a struct that will create the entire process for you. If I understood your question correctly.
The question is, can I access the database
Yeah.
immediately directly?
Yeah.
But you can.
Yeah. You have.
Procedure. You have to use search engine, and you can't call a procedure, SQL procedure.
Cannot.
No.
Well, that's no procedure from.
You have.
You have to create a trigger in the database that calls.
You have something called NetServer, search engine, which will basically...
Well, actually, I think that uses NetServer.
Not if you bypass.
And
Oops. It's always fun to code live. So basically, if you bypass NetServer, it won't connect to go through the NetServer at all, and it will just output a SQL query, which is basically the same as having a direct connection to the SQL, except store procedures and triggers inside the SQL database for security reasons, obviously. So we have the ability to, for example, say I want to update data. I can say that I want all tickets to be closed or all sales to be set to lost within those categories, for example. So I have the same ability as doing a regular SQL script. And I can also actually type in a SQL script and parse it. So there are many possibilities. Yeah.
Is it possible to call, for example, an external web service?
Well, that depends on if you're in the online environment or in the on-site environment. We have this HTTP class that can do post and gets from an external site, but that is only on the on-site.
Only on-site?
Yeah. We have the on-site solution has also file, and I think that those two are the only ones specifically for on-site.
Simen?
Yeah.
Sverre showed yesterday HTTP class will be available again or something for 8.1.
Okay.
It wasn't sold at least, so...
It's always nice to have Sverre the day before because he he will ruin my day. No, but
so he showed an example of this where you can access an external web service.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Basically, when Sverre finds out that he wants stuff implemented, he will just do it overnight, and the rest of the world will find out by looking through the code or asking him in the cantina.
We have all problems with that, even though everyone's inside the development.
Yeah, it's like reading SDK and asking Sverre is two different things.
I just test you have HTTP in online now.
Yeah, excellent. That answers your question. Then you can access external web services in the cloud as well. That is great news because there are many people who have wanted that functionality for quite some time.
I asked the question because you who asked about accessing SQL directly. You can build a web service if you send information to people. Yeah.
I've created a couple of solutions like that, having an external application accessing service in my case through JSON or through a service, and doing some magic in there, or magic or whatever you would call it. Yeah.
The event after save fired from another event. For example, I have an event after save appointment, and in the project I create a new appointment and save it.
No, sadly not as it is right now. It would be a great feature, of course, but if you want something an event to happen, you can only direct it to that given screen. You can't force it to save after something else happens, but you can of course create code that will do the same logic based on, of course, the attributes of the entity. Hans, I can see that you have some more questions for me.
I can add that if you have a question or if you come up with a question in like 10 minutes after the session, and you use community a lot, Simen is very high. It's a very high probability that he will be answering your question.
Yeah.
Community, if it's regarding CRM script, is very active, and so if you didn't get your answer now, you will in a week or tomorrow or whatever.
And I'm not sure if everyone was able to see my email address. If there are any specific cases that you want answered, you can just email me. I will most likely not answer after 5 minutes, but during the day I will try to answer.
You could enable a different script for each user, right?
No, not scripts, but tracing and so on. As far as I can, let's see here. You have, this is the only possibilities you have to change on the event handler itself. You have the enabled on or off, basically that happens for everyone. But you can check the context of which user are logged in, and you can say if you are this user in this user group or have this role, for example, you are not an administrator, this won't happen, for example. So you can also check that if the user is not allowed to save a sale, for example, that you can stop the person from saving a sale entirely. Because sometimes you have different departments working with different types of sale. Maybe you want to stop someone from that department to save some sales from that department, for example. That is possible.
Yeah, in my case I have to complete the different actions depending on
Yeah.
the user levels.
Often, as I have been working in service for quite some time, I have created like relations to rights and so on in the next extra table in service. I use that to check which rights you're. That was. If it's not from there, it's from the other side. Well, you can create matrices that will have the complete oversight of which rights you should or shouldn't have. And of course, you can use the built-in user group for stopping someone to save or interact with an object. You will always be able to click the edit button, but you can stop the person from just saving. So, yeah.
But with a new bulk update, you can override.
Yeah, that will. I've asked them not to implement that. I'm just kidding. But it will, of course, there are other ways to do things, and scripting will always be able to override everything. So there aren't any foolproof ways now, but not everybody has access to scripting, and not everybody knows how to script. So yeah, bulk update will. There will probably be some ways of stopping bulk updates as well. I think Sverre has. I hope that he has thought of ideas for stopping bulk updates where you haven't access, for example, because
based on century rules.
Yeah, and also
if you don't have the right to update that contract, it won't update.
Yeah, and also regarding the triggers, for example. If you want the bulk update, and you can also latch on with a trigger, that would be great. But if it's coming, I don't know, and when it's coming, I don't know.
I think Tony said last night that if you didn't have access to bulk update, then you would not be with a script that wouldn't fire either.
Again?
I think Tony was saying last night that if there's a bulk update in a script, and you were running it, it wouldn't actually fire a script either.
No, that won't happen. But if there are coming any new things with bulk updates and triggers, because this event handlers in CRM script is going to change. It's going to. This is just the version. I would say 0.5, because it's so many things that are not implemented yet that people need. And things will change, and new features will come, and perhaps someday, a day later, we will get bulk update script as well, or we can latch onto that. Yeah, then I say we're complete.